and there was no space between them. So it's a dimensionality that we cannot conceive because we are so conditioned by this cell energy that we cannot imagine that. And because of that, and because we cannot affect, we cannot make the deities react to us. They are totally impervious. We cannot make them react in any way. And they have this weird dimensionality. They unleash a dynamic whereby as soon as you feel separate from them, that becomes conflict. But because you have a strong capacity of self-liberation, this conflict comes to a threshold and liberates. And you are again fused in total plenitude and total pleasure with the vision. As soon as the illusion that you are separate from it arises again group, and you are fused. So the very condition of the practice doesn't allow the duality of subject and object to remain. It dissolves it. So you don't need presence in order to look at the thought and so that it will self-liberate. You don't depend on any action anymore. This is the most perfect type of self-liberation. This is true self-liberation. This is a spontaneous liberation. And then when you practice that, you don't have to do anything anymore. This is why Dzogchen is the path of spontaneous liberation. Because that practice itself does everything for you. Whenever the illusion manifests, it liberates it. You don't have to do anything. So you come to the total fusion in the enlightened state. And then you attain the body of light. Or the total transference if you manage. Yes? And this is when the visions are the external projection of our true condition, which is called the dharmata. Dharma or chöni. Dharma or chö means phenomena, and ta or ni, true condition of. So our true condition, which is the dharmata, is projected outside. This is why in the bardo of dharmata we see the peaceful and wrathful deity. When we practice Togel, we are in the bardo of dharmata without the body dying. And then there is also the chittata, or semni. Chit or sem is mind, and ta or ni, true condition of. And this depends on the organism. It sits in the heart. Then, at the end, when all vision dissolves in light and there is only a mass of light, because we have already exhausted delusion, there is no reason for deity to manifest anymore, then and we no longer, the sensation of being separate from the mass of light doesn't arise anymore, then the chittata fuses with the dharmata. The semni fuses with the chöni, and the mass of light takes the shape of the body. And the body of light remains to continue to give teaching for many centuries, so long as there are people who need this teaching, and to give the teachings which are corresponding to the different times. That if you attain the total transference, then you leave nothing, no remains behind. If you don't attain the total transference, when you die, you don't pass through the bardo of death. You continue in the bardo of dharmata. And then because clarity increases even more, in 7 days you complete the process. But then the body dissolves, but your hair and your nails remain. But still there is the same body of light which can continue to, there is no difference, can continue to give teaching for many lifetimes. And so I think with this we have more or less covered, and now we can have, if there are any questions or comments or doubts or objections or whatever, they are welcome.
for everybody is this question somehow. Is the body of light the same with the rainbow body?
Yeah, I use the word rainbow body is more used in London. Jalu is more used in London, and Ökiku or is more used in Upadesha. But they are interchanged. You can use one or the other word and they mean roughly the same. They mean the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then the total transference is Powachempo. And that is also called Vajra, the Vajra body. But Vajra body also means something else in Tantra. So these are matters of terminology of different.
Because it is represented as such, as a rainbow body in many, I don't know, tankas or...
Yeah, it is the shape of the body, the exact shape of the body, but intangible, like a rainbow.
Exactly.
Because Rolpa energy has color and form, but no tangibility. Dan energy, the energy of thought, the energy of the sphere of the mental, has neither tangibility nor shape or color. Yeah, thoughts you don't see. I didn't bring the tools because I thought we wouldn't get into so far into this. But I have the tools, the crystal ball and the rock crystal and the mirror to show all the modes of manifestation of energy, and I left it at home.
Maybe tomorrow?
But tomorrow is something different. Tomorrow we should bring a nice dakini to illustrate the...
We should arrive today.
Okay, anyhow, in a crystal ball, you see all that is in this room inside the crystal ball. But it's not so bright and it's intangible. Yeah? So this is Dan energy. The true condition is the nirmanakaya is a sphere that has no angle, as we explained before. Yeah, so the crystal ball is a perfect way to illustrate it. I see all of you now, and I try to remember, and I close my eyes, and I reproduce the image, but I don't see it. I imagine it. It's not so clear. It's like very dim, and it's like that with the crystal ball also. Everything seems to be inside, but it's not bright like all of this. Then Rolpa energy is brighter than this. It doesn't depend on external light. It's self-luminous, and it has form and color, but no tangibility. And then we have cell energy, projective, apparently substantial energy, which has form and color and tangibility. And apparently substantial because I can, unless I am totally realized, it will make resistance to me. It will seem substantial, yeah? So I think this is more or less it. No question?
Everything is clear.
Like a crystal ball or like a rock crystal?
Like a crystal ball.
Then we can order a beer to make things a little more murkier. Or clearer, even clearer. Okay, things that we finished. So in that, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking if you reach total realization like right now, you will disappear, no?
Depends on what you call total realization, yeah?
I mean, like receiving the luminous body.
Exactly. In total realization in Dzogchen, yeah, we can explain something now. In what they call total realization in Mahayana or in Tantra doesn't make you disappear. Yes? Total realization in Dzogchen is something different, and you only attain it at the end of your life when you have accomplished all your Buddha activities, because you don't want to disappear quickly and let the world, how you say, desamparado, well,
Handicapped.
no, without protection, unprotected, yeah. But if you manage to attain total realization through texture, because the true condition of that energy is the Dharmakaya, and you didn't deal with Rolpa energy, then if you manage to attain total realization through texture, you will attain the Dharmakaya, and then your physical body would dissolve into infinitesimal particles. They would go asunder and nothing would remain but the Dharmakaya, who has no shape or color, because the true condition of that energy, which is the one you deal with in texture, is the Dharmakaya. So only the Dharmakaya will remain. That doesn't mean that you are egotistic, because that Dharmakaya can produce nirmanakayas. Yeah, but you will not have a body of light or a rainbow body. Your physical appearance will dissolve. And in Togel, you are dealing with Rolpa energy, the true condition of which is the Sambhogakaya. And the Sambhogakaya is part of the Rupakaya. And then the body of form, the dimension of form of Buddhahood. And then you live a Rupakaya of light. And in particular, one could think what is left is a Sambhogakaya, because the true condition of Rolpa energy is Sambhogakaya, but the Sambhogakaya doesn't have an end in time. And according to some of the explanations, it doesn't have a beginning in time. So actually the body of light is a nirmanakaya of Rolpa energy, which is something uncommon, because normally nirmanakaya is cell energy. Is this? Yeah, that. Then total realization in Dzogchen means that absolutely all sense of duality has dissolved, and the Rupakaya of Dzogchen involves no duality at all. The Nirmanakaya of Dzogchen involves no duality at all. In Tantra, the Nirmanakaya is the impure condition, the condition of subject and object. So it means that this realization doesn't go so far as in Dzogchen. And that means that you don't have, you attain total realization and you don't disappear, but that's the total realization of Tantra. It's not the total realization of Dzogchen, which goes further. That's why we said Paths of Renunciation begins in the original condition, ends in emptiness. It ends in the 11th Bhumi. Path of Transformation begins with emptiness and ends in Rigpa. In Mahayoga, in 13th Bhumi. In Anu Yoga, 14th Bhumi. Dzogchen begins in Rigpa and finishes when everything is integrated in Rigpa. So, it is a single Bhumi because Rigpa is already enlightenment. There is only one Bhumi. But also the Rigpa Ranchar Tantra says 16 Bhumis. So it goes farther than Anu Yoga. The realization is far more profound. And it says in the 15th Bhumi you go through the bardo of Dharmata. Then That means Dzogchen is not for attaining realization in this life or in the next. No, it means that you practice Togel. To attain the 16 Bhumi, you have to practice Togel or Yantik, and then you go through the Bardos Dharmata while you are alive. So, total realization means something different according to which system. So, we have to make that distinction in order to answer that question. Because for the Mahayana, total realization is 11th Bhumi.
I was thinking about the Dzogchen.
Yeah, Dzogchen, yes. Yeah. That is the real total realization.
Yeah, the total.
Yeah, exactly. Sopa.
Completely total.
Sorry, Chempo, not Sopa. Chempo.
Milarepa was doing what? Because at his death it is said that he became like a body of light. So there was no body anymore. So he became like a light and then disappeared.
Milarepa, before he met Marpa, he had a Dzogchen teacher.
Okay.
And he received the whole of the Dzogchen teaching, but he was unable to practice them because he had all this bad karma from having killed all that people with black
Yeah,
magic.
he was a black magician at first.
So he had, the Dzogchen teacher said, "You are not ready for this. You must go out through this to this Marpa Lotsawa, who will put you through this very strong discipline that will allow you to realize yourself." And then when, by applying Marpa's teaching, he got this realization, he practiced Dzogchen.
Okay.
That's why Gampopa could write this book of Mahamudra, which is with the 4 levels, the 4 yogas. And this corresponds to the Dzogchen Sende of the tradition of Kam, which was introduced by Aaro Yeshe Yungne by combining the Sende teaching with Zen and gradual Mahayana. And that Milarepa was applying that, and he taught that to Gampopa, and Gampopa applied that because the Mahamudra of the Mahamudra Gangama, which is the one that Tilopa told Naropa on the banks of the Ganges, was like the original Sende, which didn't have 4 yogas. So, but that's already something not so relevant.
Yeah.
But the important thing is that he practiced Dzogchen. And that's why I had this horn with me.
This what?
I had a horn that I didn't bring.
So you have a lot of interesting stuff that you didn't bring.
Yeah.
I got that.
And then the horn, okay for tomorrow.
We can bring them and show them a little bit at the end after we finish with
Hide inside?
Take a photo inside the horn.
we can take a photo actually.
Inside the horn.
Yeah, very good idea. Excellent idea. Without getting smaller ourselves or
Selfie in the horn.
or the horn becoming bigger.
Or by doing nothing.
Sorry?
By doing nothing. Just leaving the horn as it is and us as we are.
Exactly. I'll show you
Just
tomorrow.
clicking the
If you remind me, put it in the phone.
It's called trans-tra. If we speak of a camera,
Yeah, it's a...
trans-traveling is a movement of the camera. So
Oh,
we can do it with physical
okay. How you call it?
trans-travel.
Trans-travel.
Trans-traveling.
Trans-travel.
Yes.
Oh, it's like the tomb or what?
You change the perspective.
What?
Yeah, makes sense.
You change the perspective by moving, by having, I am not very technical, I won't be able to explain in very technical terms, but anyway, by changing the focus, you lose the perspective, you trick the depth
Okay.
of the field, the lateral perspectives, and you can adjust the depth come
Oh,
forward or
okay.
go backwards, according to how you adjust the lenses.
Okay. That also with a telephoto, if you
Zoom.
zoom the maximum,
Yeah.
yeah, you can have a person next to a big mountain and they look.
Do you want to see?
The trick with
The transfer effect.
Okay.
Actually, one
We
thing
start
is massive.
now. See, they don't move, but because of the camera, here it seems like they. This
Okay.
is a transfer
Yeah, I get it.
effect. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm.
I
Nice
didn't know
effect.
it. Trans travel. Okay.
It's a cinematographical trick.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are many examples, so it works. It's not optical illusions, not the same, but it's
Yeah,
for beginners it works.
but for Milarepa it wasn't an optical illusion. He was inside the horn without becoming smaller
Yeah.
and without making the horn bigger. And the Karampas, not these new Karampas, the true Karampas, they said Atisha did something similar. And at the end, he said, what you have said today, I could swear in front of all the realized beings of India and Tibet, that is not a miracle, it is not but the true condition of reality.
Like you showed the vision of no
Yeah.
distance, there is distance, is no
Exactly.
dimension. I mean,
Exactly.
the mind is very plastic if we think of the cameras and the way we see things.
Could you please explain a little bit? I realize many people have this kind of resistance in applying like visualization, which for them clearly means something imagined, something false, to get to the true condition. Maybe if you develop a little bit how it works to use a lie, no, to get to the truth.
Yeah.
How does it?
Well, maybe no need of example. We can just explain what is the principle. The visualization is we visualize Sambhogakaya visions, which are not created by the mind, but when we visualize them, we are applying intention. So they are actually conditioned, created, fabricated, etc., but they reflected reality that is not conditioned. Now, so long as we are visualizing them, we are doing something with the mind. And what is produced is false. We are working with Dan energy. We are reproducing Rolpa energy in Dan energy. But then, when we practice the completion or perfection stage of Tantra, and we work with energies, then the energetic volume determining the scope of awareness, that is a translation for Tigle, one of the meanings of Tigle. Tigle has many meanings, different meanings. The energy has increased very much. Then, with that increase of energy, we begin to see Rolpa energy. And because we were practicing with this vision, the vision like becomes real. Not that it becomes real in this sense, but that we can see it with the eye. It's not Dang energy anymore, it's Rolpa energy, it's self-luminous. And then, what we are doing is we are discovering the Sambhogakaya. We are being able to discover the Sambhogakaya that is not created. But we have to begin with emptiness, what we were explaining before, so because otherwise it would be like putting another layer to the onion of delusion. But when we have this final realization, when in the completion or perfection stage, we integrate the vision into the condition of Mahamudra or the condition of Dzogchen. And when that happens, you cannot be deceived by the visualization, because you are in the true condition. You are in the condition of Dzogchen, the condition of Mahamudra, you are in Rigpa. And in Rigpa you cannot be deceived because you are in the true condition of reality. So at that point you cannot be deceived anymore. So you begin playing games. You begin visualizing with the mind. You begin creating something that is created, produced, fabricated, intentional, etc. And therefore belongs to samsara. But finally, when you get into the state of Mahamudra, then division is actually Sambhogakaya. And you have the realization of the true condition, you are in Rigpa. So, that's how Tantra more or less works. And that's why visualization doesn't need to be self-deceit, but it can be self-deceit. Chogyam Trungpa said, even if you are visualizing Vairochana as an 8-year-old child, yeah, and it's something like very innocent, you can feel a strong pride of being Vairochana. I attained something. And then he gives an example saying, I am Mahavairochana, I am one with him. And then he says, there is a feeling of a swallowed chest, the cosmic gorilla. So it depends on how you practice visualization. You can become the cosmic gorilla, or you can realize Rigpa.
How about, because let's say now we are in Romania, and in Romania, even if we're not practicing Christianity, it's part of our conditioning, no? So how can we continue or approach new kind of practices and integrate somehow also the Christian principles that we inherited, no? Like, which is very much based on sin, guilt, and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there are many ways to explain that. One thing would be to say that Romanian people were born in Romania in this life. But if you have a connection with the Dzogchen teaching, it's because you practice Dzogchen in the past, and if in Romania there was no Dzogchen, then probably you were elsewhere. And you have a familiarity and a connection with that is stronger than the familiarity and connection that you get in a single lifetime. But if you are very conditioned by Christianity, you must realize all the big lamas have said that Jesus was a realized being, a nirmanakaya. That's something that is in general asserted to be the case by many realized teachers. Even Chogyam Namkhen Norbu has said that Jesus was a nirmanakaya. And did Jesus teach shame? Or did he rescue Magdalena, who everyone else was trying to make guilty and even were going to kill her by stoning? Or did he say, you shame of you? He didn't say that. He rescued her and he took her with him. And so this guilt thing is something that
Inherited from the Old Testament.
what?
Inherited from the Old Testament.
This is true. That's why the Gnostics used to say that the God of the Yahweh of the Old Testament was actually a demon, and that the true God was the God of love of Jesus Christ. That was the Gnostic doctrine. Yeah? And we don't need to repeat exactly that and believe that, but it's enough that we bye-bye. It's enough that we understand that these things are not inherent to Christianity. Well, they are inherent the way Christianity became. Of course.
Yes, I wanted to say that even the etymology of word sin means to miss your target. So actually, it has a different meaning than let's say the guilt. Actually, the whole guilt thing, it's to go deeper with that. Guilt should be only just a guardian for you to understand that you did something wrong and not repeat it, not to live with. But unfortunately, I've seen that, and I don't want to, how to say, this a few tendencios to become, you know, like, but no, există cuvântul ăsta? It's the word, tendencies. But mostly in like Western Christianity more than in Eastern, although in Eastern too, but with a different approach. In Western, it's almost became at one point an obsession for the sin, for the guilt, which is totally stupid. Even psychologically, it's impairing yourself, psychological. So you have no chance in that state of mind to do anything that
Also,
could be even remotely spiritual.
Also, the New Testament, we received it in the Greek version, and in the Greek version, sin is hamartia, and hamartia means error.
There you go. And to me, a priest told me that your true nature is without sin. So it's almost like a Buddhist approach.
Yes.
So he told me that, and he said, when you are doing something wrong, it means that you are outside your true nature. Actually, you're manifesting something, we could say in Buddhist terms, from your mind, from your attached mind.
Yes, in the Orthodox tradition, there is a mystical tradition, very strong, that has this. It works with the heart, like also Dzogchen works with the heart.
Yeah.
But exactly, I wouldn't know exactly what is the deepest stages in that tradition, so I better not comment.
Yeah. And I also want to say that because it surprised me, and for all those who think, I don't know, Christianism is just what you see, so to speak, what you firstly see, the prejudice and the traditions. Priest from Bucharest, I'd say a rather fine one. I went to confess myself, so to speak, and then he explained me anger, and I almost like I heard like many years ago I met a lama from Nepal, and it was almost word by word the same thing, you know. Just I was like, okay, I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to enter a philosophical any discussion like that, but it was like exactly like from Buddhism. He explained me, you see, anger comes like this, and then you burn with that anger, and that anger takes you to a hellish state of mind, and Wow. It was just the priest telling me that. I was like, okay, that sounds very Buddhist what he was saying. So I don't think there is like a difference. It's just this difference was stressed only by tradition and the let's say outside exoteric desire of priests to control people. But that has nothing to do with the core mystical of Christianism, which is totally, I would say, almost very close to Sufi, very close to any other mystical tradition.
Yeah, well, Jesus disappeared for many years. Yeah, since he was 12.
Yeah, exactly.
Until
Since
he was 30.
Yeah, so